Hey, so I was digging into Vodafone Idea's latest quarterly report, and wow, there's a lot to unpack. Where do we even start?
Well, first things first, Vodafone Idea, or VI, is a partnership between the Aditya Birla Group and Vodafone Group. They provide voice and data services across India, and they are gearing up for 5G. They've got a pretty significant spectrum portfolio, which is crucial for the future.
Correct. The 5G thing is huge. I remember reading they acquired 5G spectrum back in July 2022. What about their recent performance?
Okay, so for Q3 FY25, revenue was about rupees 111.2 billion, a slight increase from the previous quarter. They highlighted that this was aided by recent tariff hikes. Also, the cash EBITDA, excluding some accounting standard impacts, reached its highest level since the merger. That's a good sign, right?
Yeah, that sounds positive. But what about the bottom line? Were they actually profitable?
Not quite. They still reported a net loss of rupees 66.093 billion for the quarter. Depreciation and finance costs are still eating into their earnings, though those costs look like they're being addressed.
Ouch, still in the red. What's keeping them afloat then?
Well, they've been actively raising funds. There was a preferential allotment to Vodafone Group entities, which increased the promoter group's stake. Also, they raised a ton of equity over the last 10 months, like close to rupees 260 billion.
That's a lot of cash. So, what's it being used for?
Primarily to expand and upgrade their network, especially for 4G and the upcoming 5G rollout. Their capital expenditure, or capex, is expected to be around rupees $100 billion for the full fiscal year.
All right, so heavy investment in infrastructure makes sense. What about their customer base?
They have about 199.8 million subscribers, and around 63% are 4G users. They are working on upgrading the rest to data services.
Got it. How are they doing in terms of attracting high value customers?
Their average revenue per user, or ARPU, is improving. It went up to rupees 173, driven by those tariff hikes and customer upgrades. Plus, they're seeing consistent growth in their post-paid customer base, especially with their new Easy Plus proposition for corporate clients.
Okay, so they're squeezing more revenue out of each user, which is key. Let's talk about network coverage. How far are they reaching?
They've significantly expanded their 4G coverage, now reaching over 1.07 billion people in India. They're aiming for 1.1 billion by March 2025 and eventually 1.2 billion. The commercial launch of 5G services is planned for Mumbai in March 2025.
Wow, that's impressive. So, nationwide 4G, 5G coming soon. What about their debt situation?
The debt from banks has been reduced significantly, but they still have substantial deferred payment obligations towards spectrum and AGR dues. There's some complexity there with government reforms and potential equity conversions. Disclaimer: we advise investors to check with certified experts before taking any investment decisions.
Okay, so debt is still a concern, but they're actively managing it. Are there any other interesting developments?
Yeah, they've been focusing on digital offerings and content partnerships. They relaunched Vi Movies and TV with multiple OTT subscriptions under one plan. Plus, they have Vi Ads, Vi Games, and other digital initiatives.
Right, diversifying beyond just telecom services. What about their enterprise business?
BI Business is focused on providing digital transformation solutions to enterprises, offering mobility, connectivity, IoT, and analytics services. They've even got a tool to help MSMEs thrive in the digital economy.
Sounds like they're trying to be a one-stop shop for businesses. What's the deal with the government's bank guarantee waiver?
That's a big positive. The government is dispensing with the requirement of bank guarantees for spectrum auctions before 2021, which frees up capital for Vi to invest in their network.
Okay, so less financial burden, more investment potential. What about that monitoring agency report you mentioned?
Yes. Care Ratings Limited is monitoring how Vi is using the funds raised through their further public offer, or FPO. The report for this quarter says everything's in line with the offer document and there are no deviations.
That's reassuring. So the money's being used as promised. Any delays or revisions to the original plans?
Nope, the report states that there are no major deviations or delays in implementing their plans. They're on track with their network expansion and spectrum payments.
Good to know. Where's the unutilized money parked in the meantime?
It's primarily in fixed deposits with banks like SBI, Yes Bank, and IDBI Bank, earning returns around 6 to 7% while they wait to deploy it.
Smart move. So, to sum it up, Vodafone Idea is still facing challenges but is making progress with network expansion, ARPU improvement, and fundraising efforts.
Exactly. They're investing heavily in 4G and 5G, trying to attract high value customers and diversifying into digital services. The government support is also a big boost.
What are the key takeaways for shareholders?
Well, the preferential allotment of equity shares to Vodafone Group entities shows their commitment to the company. Plus, that FPO went off without a hitch.
So, what's the overall outlook? Are they finally turning a corner?
It's still uncertain. They need to keep executing their plans, manage their debt, and compete effectively in a tough market. But they're definitely making strides in the right direction. The CEO mentioned accelerating capex deployment and a phased 5G rollout.
Seems like they have a long way to go, but they're laying the groundwork.
Yeah, it's a turnaround story in progress. Keep an eye on their network expansion, ARPU trends, and debt management. They're definitely one to watch. Oh, and if you liked what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Well, thanks for breaking that down for me. Always appreciate the insights.
Anytime. It's like trying to assemble a complex puzzle, right?